I'd like to talk to you today the way I talk to people closest to me, my community, my clients, and the people that I love. And when I talk to them, I call them family. So if that's cool with you, that's why I want to talk to you today. But before we dive in, let me be very clear. I'm not here to give you financial advice. What I'm about to share with you is the lessons that I've learned from my own personal journey. I've worked 10 years inside the banking system, and I've spent years trying to break free from it. Please always do your own research and find what works best for you and your family. Now, what if I told you that I believe there's a hidden tax silently stealing your freedom every single day? And no, I don't mean the tax that you pay on April. I'm talking about a tax you can't see, but one you can absolutely feel. At the grocery store, at the gas pump, and especially when you try to save for your future. Inflation. So let me paint a picture. Back in 1913, with a single dollar, you could buy about 10 apples. Let's fast forward to today. How many apples can that dollar get you? Maybe one. The dollar has lost 96 to 97% of its purchasing power. And here's the trick. They tell you that 2% inflation is healthy. Sounds really small, right? But at just 2% inflation, your money loses half of its value every 35 years. So when you think your savings account or your retirement fund is growing, most of the time you're just keeping pace. That's the illusion. And so if you don't beat inflation, you're not building wealth, you're just running in place. So how do we beat inflation? To do that, I need to introduce you to a concept that I wish they taught us all in school. It's called your hurdle rate. I want you to think of the hurdle rate as the minimum return you need just to break even. It's not about making a profit, it's about not falling behind. For example, if inflation is at 3%, that means the cost of living is going up 3% every year. If it costs you 5% to borrow money, you're not starting at zero, you're already starting in the hole. Your investments have to clear the 5% hurdle before you can even actually start moving forward. Anything less than that, you're falling behind. Let me make this a little bit easier to understand. Think of the hurdle rate as a hole, and imagine that you fall into the hole. And before you can even start walking forward, you first have to climb out of the hole. That's what happens with money. Inflation is like dirt that keeps sliding in, making it harder to get out. Borrowing money is like someone pouring more dirt on top of you, making it even more difficult. So before you can move ahead, you've got to get back to ground level. That climb out is your hurdle rate. If your investments don't at least get you out of the hole, you're not really moving forward, you're still stuck digging your way out. So how do we get out of the hole and beat inflation? The first step is learning to direct your cash flow into assets that actually outpace inflation. And let me break this down simply, because the financial world loves buzzwords. A growth asset is simply something that tends to increase in value over time, like real estate or stocks that pay you dividends. You put money in, and over the long run, it grows. A deflationary asset is different. It's valuable precisely because its supply is limited. This beats inflation because when something has a fixed supply, it's based on supply and demand. More demand than the supply, the asset goes up over time. Let's take Bitcoin as the simplest example. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin in existence. That's actually written into the code. This is called hard cap. No bank, no government, no company can wake up one day and decide to make more. And when the supply is fixed, but demand increases, the value tends to rise. Gold works the same way. It's scarce. Or let's take XRP. It's designed to move money across borders instantly, like a digital bridge between currencies. Its supply is capped at 100 billion tokens, and no more can ever exist. Just like Bitcoin, scarcity means it can potentially gain value over time, especially as demand grows for faster, cheaper financial systems. That scarcity is what makes it different than the dollar, which can be printed endlessly. So years ago, I made the shift personally. Instead of pouring my money into cars, lifestyle spending, and trips, stuff that loses value, I redirected my cash flow into growth in deflationary assets. Because here's what I've learned. Cash flow isn't about consumption. Cash flow is about fuel. You've got to fuel the things that beat inflation. Second, and one of my favorite tools, is cash value life insurance. Think of it like owning your own bank. You put money in, it grows safely, and you can borrow against it to buy more assets like crypto, dividend stocks, or even real estate. So imagine you plant a tree, and every year the tree grows bigger and stronger. But you take a branch off that tree and you plant it in the ground. And now you've got two trees growing at the exact same time. That's dual compounding. Your money is working for you in more than one place. The third tool is leverage. Leverage simply means using good debt to buy assets that beat the hurdle. Say you borrow from your insurance at 5% and you put it in an asset that grows 8 to 10%, that's real growth. But here's the warning. Leverage is like fire. In the right hands, it will warm your home. In the wrong hands, it will burn the whole thing down. If the asset doesn't beat your hurdle, leverage compounds your loss just as fast as it compounds your gain. Let's pull all of this together. Inflation is a silent tax. The hurdle rate is your true target. And the framework is simple. Take your cash flow, fuel growth in deflationary assets, use cash value accounts to multiply compounding, and when the opportunity is right, apply leverage wisely. Because here's the reality. The system we live in runs on debt and interest, and most people are getting crushed by it. If you're not beating inflation, you're losing money every single year. You can flip the system, and you can use its own game to build freedom. And because I started this talk by saying I'd speak to you the way that I speak to people I care about most, family, stop running in place, learn the rules, beat the hurdle, and build the future you deserve. Thank you.